everything that I have set up on my end, and we're going to be broadcasting in different channels, YouTube Live, Facebook Live. We're going to be broadcasting through different pages. So just give me a few seconds. It's a great time to buy, to sell, to refinance, to cash out, and you're going to discover why in a minute. So we're almost done. See, almost. And we are ready to rock and roll. All right. Hello. Okay, let me lower the volume, DJ. All right. So welcome again to another live webinar with your host, Jerry Torres. So let's go into the nitty gritty. Today, we're going to be talking about a lot of great things. Among those things, the perfect storm happening in real estate. Right now, we have super amazing low rates. We have a shortage of inventory for the sellers that want to cash out on their properties and sell. And so there's a lot of good things happening in real estate. So number one, this webinar is for you. If you're looking to buy or refinance a house, upgrade to a bigger, better home in a better area, and you don't know where to start, this webinar is for you. If you want to buy a house and you don't think you have enough money to do so, this webinar is also for you. If you want to buy a property or refinance and you don't think you can qualify because you have less than perfect credit, believe it or not, we can help borrowers with FICOs as low as 500 points. So stay tuned to learn how we can do that. So we're going to be discussing market updates, what's happening in real estate, the recommended home buying process, the one to avoid pitfalls, headaches, complications, and losing money. You don't want to lose money on the purchase of your house, right? Number three, we're going to be talking about creative programs that allow people to buy a house without having to show income taxes. Right now, I'm helping one landlord actually, um, who she didn't want to report money in 2018. It's okay. Her property is cash flowing. We have a one-to-one ratio, meaning rents and PITI. No problem. I don't have to see your income taxes. So those are the kind of problems that are available for landlords and business owners. We're going to be discussing how to buy a house with no legal status. I'm going to be disclosing a new loan program for ITINs where they can finance up to 90% of the property, good or good. So that's new. And how to receive free credit repair services should you decide to work with us. So now, my job is to give you as much information in 30 minutes or less. But at the end of this webinar, you're going to have the opportunity to book an appointment with myself or my team so that we can discuss your specific information. What happens in Facebook and YouTube doesn't stay there. So we don't like to discuss personal information when we are live for obvious reasons. So my name is Jerry Torres. I work I'm one of the leaders. My wife is the other leader too, of a team, lending team. I've been in business for over 17 years. I have a lot of experience. I cannot say that I know it all. I started my journey in real estate as a realtor, working in Century 21 United in Downey. Then I went to Century 21 Excellence out of the Norwalk office. And then I started getting coaching, mentoring, and I became the number one agent in the Century 21 Excellence. Now, my pride and joy is my family. I like to spend a lot of time with my kids. That's what I really enjoy. And I like to enjoy people, educate them in the different ways that they have in order to buy, sell, or refinance. Education is my passion. I am a teacher at heart. I don't consider myself a salesperson. I don't like to push nobody into doing something that doesn't make any sense. And I take pride in saying that I'm the first loan originator to start hosting live events. All right, so what's happening in the news? So we're going to be talking about this because there is a lot of fear when it comes to, well, are we going to have a recession? So what's happening, when it comes to recession? Let's define first what a recession is. According to the dictionary, it's a noun and is a period of temporary economic decline during which trade, make a note, it doesn't say real estate, and industrial activity are reduced, generally identified by a fall in the GDP in 2 consecutive quarters. So bottom line is this, There is no growth in the economy for 6 months. So now, does if we encounter a recession, does that mean the properties are going to go down? Well, let's look at the facts. This is what has happened in the last one, two, three, four, five recessions. In 2008, properties in the whole United States, they dropped 19.7%. Why? Because that recession was actually triggered by the housing, by the mortgage meltdown of 2008. But what happened in 2001? Properties actually went up in value. In the 1990s, whoa, they dropped 2%, almost 2%. Woohoo. So if you had a property for 500,000, they dropped $10,000. That's not too bad. Now, what happened in 1981? Property values went up, and in 1980, they went up by 6%. It is typical for real estate to do good while the stock market probably is going through a correction. Now, economists are pushing back the timetable as to when the next recession might hit us. At the end of last year, there were 50% of the economists were saying that the recession was going to be taking place in 2020. Now, only 34% are saying that we might enter into a recession at the end of 2020. And the other majority are saying that it's probably going to be taking place maybe in 2021, some of the other 14% in 2022, and so on and so forth. So now, what is causing the recession to be pushed back? Okay, there is a couple of factors that I like to call it the perfect storm. One of them is, let me see, market. This is a new slide, okay? So, we were talking about the pushing. Okay, so what's happening? What is happening with the real estate market? Housing remains a solid foundation for the U.S. economy going into 2020. This was quoted by George, senior economist at Realtor.com. So what's pushing the economy right now is real estate. Real estate, when we have a good real estate market economy, it's doing well because out of one transaction, like 20 people eat out of one transaction. Appraisers, home inspectors, lenders, realtors, title officers, assistants. So it stimulates the economy. So what's happening? Rates are amazingly great. So yesterday I was quoting an FHA. We got a buyer pre-approved on a first-time home buyer program, 96.5% down payment, and we quoted that person at 2.9%. 2.9%. Where have you seen that 2%ers? It's been a very long time, and the FICO was like 660. Okay, so I mean, the APR on that was going to be maybe 3.5% APR, probably less than that. Okay, so now it's this is what's causing the economy to do so well. So what happens when rates are low? Property values tend to go up. Now, here is one problem that we have in real estate, and that is shortage of inventory. Typically, when we have 6 months supply of inventory, the economy is doing normal in real estate. The real estate economy is normal. Right now, according to MBA, we have, let me see. Oh no, this is home value projectors. I'm sorry. This is the property values. This is what they're expecting. CoreLogic has been saying 5.4% increase in the value. Fannie Mae saying 4%. NAR is saying 3.6. Freddie Mac, MBA. So imagine all of these are reputable organizations in the economy. They're all saying the properties will continue going up, and that is because of the amazingly low rate. They are projecting the rates to remain at a 3.8% in the following 2 years. Believe it or not, that's coming from Freddie Mac. So we have a good time, a good market to buy, to sell, to refinance, to cash out money, and do savvy investments. Pay off for college. Start a business, buy more rental property, and build your portfolio, retire. Anyways, okay, moving on. So benefits of home ownership. When you're a homeowner, you enjoy benefits. Number one, we already saw that equity. So when you buy a property, all of the equity, it's building while your principal balance is going down because with every payment, you have what is called forced savings. All of that profit, when you are living in the property, owner occupied, and are married, you could have up to $500,000 in profit and not pay a single dime to the IRS. Good or good. So that's excellent. Now, you also have tax benefits such as mortgage interest deduction. You can deduct up to $750,000 in mortgage interest. Now, you have to have several properties to get to that point, but it can totally help you lower your tax liability. So now, I am not a tax preparer. I am not a real estate attorney. My advice is for you to collaborate, specifically all of these strategies that we're going to be discussing. So, so do your own due diligence. Upgrade. When you own rental property and you make upgrades to the property, those can help you offset the amount of capital gains should you have to pay when you decide to sell the property. Now, investment. 90% of all the wealthy people in the United States, they have some sort of real estate holding. So 90% of the wealthy people cannot be wrong. So don't fall behind. Start buying your first house, then buy rental, and start building a portfolio because I mean, Social Security is probably not going to be around in a couple of years. All right. So now, buying a house could be a scary process or refinancing a house. Where do I start? Do I even qualify for a mortgage at this time? Can I buy a house if my credit is less than perfect? The answer is yes. Now, what is the proper home buying process? So number one, the first thing you have to do when you make the decision to buy or refinance is to contact your loan originator. That will be me, my team. So my team and I, our job is to pre-qualify you, to look at the whole scenario, your financials, your taxes, check stuff, and to give you a rock solid pre-approval letter so that you can go out and write offers and look at properties. Sometimes the borrowers they want to start this process backwards. They get excited, they download the Zillow app, the Redfin app, they start looking for properties. They get super excited about a house, they submit an offer, the offer doesn't get accepted because there isn't a pre-qual letter, and because the lender declines them because there is something wrong that they didn't know. So now, so number one, get pre-qualified. Once you are pre-qualified, I'm gonna give the pre-qual letter to yourself and to a professional real estate agent so that that agent can find you the house of your dreams. You're going to have a sit down with that agent and cherry pick the properties that you want to see. Go out, see properties, to meet as many offers as you can because we have low inventory. Buyers, right now is not the time to get picky, okay? So don't get picky because you're gonna get outbid. Sellers, this is the right time to put the house in the market. If you wanna sell, give us a call. We are gonna crunching the numbers on your next purchase so you know exactly what you're getting into. After you have an accepted offer, then we're going to be opening title and escrow. Title company is going to ensure that the title of the property belongs to the seller, that you're not being scammed. And escrow, it's a third neutral party company that their job is to make sure that all of the terms and conditions in the offer are getting done according to the law. Now, a good realtor will recommend you for you to hire a home inspector so that you can satisfy yourself regarding the conditions of the property, that the roof is not leaking, the electrical panel, you don't have those fire hazard breakers in there, so that everything is done. You don't want surprises once you move in. Now, my job as your loan originator, as quickly as possible, we want to order what is called the appraisal. We want to make sure that the property value is there. So what happens if the property doesn't appraise? That's when having a good realtor in your team comes into place. Your realtor is going to negotiate with the seller, with the listing agent, so that they can adjust the price. Because especially when you buy a property as a first-time home buyer, there is a clause called the FHA, a mandatory clause, in which you're never forced to buy a property that doesn't appraise. Good or good? Moving on. Depending on your current situation, there are different types of loan programs. We are connected with over 132 wholesale lenders. What does that mean? Yeah, we can do retail loans, because we have our own lines of credit too. So we're technically a direct lender, but at the same time, we are connected with over 132 wholesale lenders. What does that mean to you? Number one, wholesale rate. I can say this, it's gonna be really tough to beat me on pricing. I can almost guarantee because I work with the number wholesale lender in America. Number two, When you don't qualify as a prime buyer, for example, you don't have a 720 FICO, you don't have a 20% down, then you are a B buyer. So we have FHA loans, loans that they give you the opportunity to buy by financing 96.5%. Okay. So now we also have conventional loans. If you have 20% down and you want to avoid having that mortgage insurance, we have those loan programs. We have jumbos, 5% down, no mortgage insurance. So any program out there, I can almost guarantee I have access to. I have access to creative loans, no taxes, bank statement loans, etc. VA, if you're a veteran, probably the best loan for you is the VA. Why? There is no PMI, 100% financing, and typically the closing cost is lower than other types of loans. We also have reverse mortgages for the senior community that they need to supplement their income. We have those available as well. Anyways, moving on. So, what if you don't have money and you want to buy a house? Can you buy a house receiving down payment assistance? And the answer is yes. California, we live in a wonderful state. There is one entity called California Housing Finance Agency, called HAFA, offers an amazing product that allow people to buy a house by receiving down payment assistance. So how does this work? Call HAFA, again, is a state in the state of California. They issue, or borrowers can apply for a typical FHA loan where they can receive 96.5% financing on the first loan, 30-year fixed, fully amortized, no surprises. Your payment is never going to go up in 30 years. Now, the down payment assistance, if you need assistance with the down payment, you can finance 3.5% down, okay, in the form of a silent second. What is a silent second? It's a loan that you have the ability to make a payment, but not the obligation. This loan is repayable when you sell or refinance. Now, what if you need even more assistance and you need closing cost assistance? Well, there's a couple of ways. Number one, your realtor can ask the seller, but what if, with the shortage of inventory, it's tough to get closing costs, okay? And your realtor will know this. So you have the ability to finance up to 3% in closing costs by applying for the ZIP program, the call half a ZIP, zero interest program. Again, this is a 30-year fully amortized loan, no interest rate, okay? And again, repayable when you sell or refinance. So yes, you can close escrow with 3 loans. Two of those are going to be silent thirds or seconds, and you're going to be paying only one, which is the first. Now, with this program, you can finance houses, condominiums, and PUDs, planned unit development. Unfortunately, you cannot finance a duplex. Okay, so if you want to buy a duplex, then probably your best bet. I mean, if you don't have the down payment, is go with the typical FHA 96.5% loan to value. With this program, you need a 660 FICO. So what happens if you don't have the FICO? Reach out to us so that we can help you boost it up to 660 within 30 days so that you can qualify. Now, some professionals, police, some fire, people that work in correctional officers, all of this that you see over here can receive up to 4% free money by a program called the Golden State Finance Authority. Yeah, you heard me right. So you can receive all of the down payment, which is typical, again, another FHA loan, 3.5, and half a point to pay for the closing costs. So thank you so much for being a public servant, and that's how the government would like to reward you, specifically the state of California. This program has been around since 2010, and it has given more than $216 million in down payment assistance and closing costs. And you don't have to be a first-time home buyer to qualify for this program, meaning if you want to buy another house that is bigger and better in area, you can receive this gift. Okay, so that is the definition of first-time home buyer. The FICO could be as low as 640, and you can combine this money, this gift, with a conventional FHA, VA, even USDA if you live in a rural area. All right, so now you have made the decision. Yes, Jerry, I'm ready to buy a house. What do lenders look into borrowers? Well, lenders will look primarily 3 factors. Number one, legal status. Typically speaking, if you want to apply for a loan where you want to receive down payment assistance, you need to be a U.S. citizen or have a green card, or you have asylum, or you are a refugee. Now, the good news is for the people that don't have a legal status, you can still buy a house by utilizing what is called the ITIN program. We were pushing an ITIN program where borrowers could receive up to 80% financing. I have better news. We just got news about a new program in which uh, the banks can give you 90% LTV. Okay, so reach out to us if you don't have a legal status and you have 10% down. We can definitely help you get into a property. Okay, so reach out to us for the details. But you don't need to have a social security as long as you report your income taxes as a good U.S. citizen in the United States and report taxes using the ITIN. You might be able to qualify, and you can even finance properties that typically are not being able to be financed through the traditional lending products because this is private money. Now, the second requirement all lenders will look into borrowers is income. Income nowadays has to be predictable and has to be trackable, verifiable. The mortgage meltdown of 2008 was triggered by a lot of bad lending practices. Lenders back in the days, you only needed to have a pulse and you would qualify for a mortgage. There were the 80/20 loans, the 100% financing, and the stated. People needed to state the income. That's not the case anymore. Nowadays, you need to verify the income. If you're an employee, we want to see W-2s or K-1s. If you are a corporate owner, Schedule E. If you're a landlord, 1099 INT. If you're a private lender and earn a lot of interest income. Now, what if you say, well, Jerry, I don't think I have enough income to qualify. Well, the good news is, as a first-time home buyer, you could have six borrowers in one loan application. So talk to your friends, family, join forces, buy a duplex maybe, and then down the line, you can enjoy the benefits of home ownership. You get the appreciation, the deductions, and then down the line, after 3 years, you can qualify as a first-time home buyer again and buy the house of your dreams. Very good. So now, any type of income will help you qualify. Overtime, bonuses, second job, seasonal, retirement, and social security income can help you qualify for a house. Now, what if you are a business owner, okay, or maybe you are a landlord, okay, and you don't have active income, you're not an employee. Can you buy a house? And the answer is yes. We have one program called the Bank Statement Loan Program, in which, as long as, I mean, if you're self-employed, you get that money and you deposit it somewhere, right? And it's traceable. You could qualify for a bank statement loan program, meaning you don't need to show tax returns. You can finance up to $5 million per property with a FICO as low as 600, and they can finance up to 90%. So you can use business income or personal income. You don't have to be incorporated. You can buy owner-occupied properties, homes, investments, and with this program, because this is a non-qualified mortgage product, you could buy even 2 years after foreclosure, short sale, bankruptcy, deed in lieu. So, what excuse do you have? So you can finance houses, condos, and single family. Now, the third requirement, all lenders will look into borrowers before giving them a loan. It's credit, FICO. You need to have a FICO, 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 FICO. FICO will dictate how much, whether you're receiving down payment assistance, the type of the rate you're receiving. It'll dictate a lot of things. So now, a lot of people don't know this. They don't know how to have a good FICO. For example, 35% of your of your FICO is derived from your payment history. If you want to have a great FICO, pay your bills on time. 30% is how much you owe. If you have a credit card with a $10,000 limit, if you want to have good credit, never go above 30%. And if you want to have phenomenal credit, don't go over 10%. That's the rule. The other 10% is credit mix. Lenders want to see that you're responsible with auto loans, credit cards, that you have a good mix of different types of credit. The other 10% is length of history. The older the trade line, the better your FICO, and 10% is new credit. So now, a lot of people might say, well, Jerry, I am a student. How can you, I mean, or I don't believe in credit. I always paid in cash and I don't have a FICO. How can I have a FICO within 30 days? One of the quickest ways is number one, apply for a secured credit card such as Capital One. Deposit $300. Those $300 become your line of credit and go out and, buy something, go out and have lunch and charge 30 bucks. That's it. Don't charge more. And that's going to give you, I mean, I've seen clients, guys, uh, get a 700 FICO and above by just doing this. Now, another shortcut is, well, I don't know if I want to do that. Well, if you know somebody like mom, dad, somebody that can add you to their existing credit card, that a credit card that has been seasoned for 5 years, there you go. You get length of history, and if they have a good balance, credit utilization will be just ideal. There you go. That's how you can have a FICO. Now, credit is the least of our worries. Okay, if you don't have the income, I mean, I'm sorry, there isn't much that I can do unless, of course, you're a business owner and we can prove the income another way. But credit, if you have bad credit, that doesn't scare us. So what's the definition of poor credit? I mean, as a first-time home buyer, guys, you only need 580 and you can finance 96.5% as a first-time home buyer with the uh, federal loan. Okay. Now, if your credit is below 580, what options do you have? Well, you have credit repair. Now, a lot of people think, does credit repair really work? And the answer is yes, I've seen it with this size. I've seen it. And so how does it work? Well, there is FACTA, Federal Credit Reporting Act. It's a law that protects the consumers from the credit bureaus, actually, because by law, the credit bureaus cannot enter any derogatory information in your credit bureau unless that information is verified. Now, do you think that, if they do millions of entries to their database on a daily basis, do you think they have the time to do that? And the answer is no. That's when knowing the law comes into place. In this country, you are innocent unless proven guilty. So use the law to your favor. So now there are companies out there that specialize in credit repair. We work with one that is, really good. For example, they charge $80 only if they are successful removing the derogatory item from the credit report. So what's a derogatory? IRS lien, bankruptcy, um, collection accounts. Yeah, they can disappear from the credit report. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't own the debt, because if the collection company sells it to another collector, that collector can re-enter it in the credit report. But at least, you can buy a house and then you deal with that later. Now, if you decide to work with us, um, we can refund up to $1,000 when you buy or refinance with us. So that is one action taker bonus that we have for the people that decide to take action. Now, in order to claim that, you need to either one, apply with us before the end of this webinar, or number two, if you have questions, it's okay for you to claim a consultation. So for the first 5 people to apply or claim a consultation before the end of this webinar can receive up to $1,000 in credit repair services. That's, as a token of appreciation for taking action. So now, if you're tired of having people to tell you how to live your life, if you're tired of your rent going up year after year after year after year, if you are tired of not having your man cave, a big kitchen to, I mean, if you like to cook, or a big living room to entertain during the holiday seasons, then it might be time for you to be a homeowner. Okay. As we discussed, this is a great time. It is being estimated that for the next 5 years, property will continue to go up. So if you're waiting for the bubble to burst, let me burst your bubble. The bubble is not bursting anytime soon. Even if we experience a recession, is going to be really hard for property values to go down. And let me tell you why. Because after the mortgage meltdown of 2008, I mean, Dodd-Frank, that the big law restructure everything, and now people have to show income. So properties will continue going up as wages continue going up. So, I mean, right now we're going through spring. Summer is just around the corner. If you like to, swim like myself, then it might be a good time to buy a property with a pool. Or if you like your kids to experience a normal life and play in the yard, then being a homeowner might be a good option for you. Or if your dream is to build that state-of-the-art barbecue, I mean, go ahead. It would probably be a good time to be a homeowner. So if you're ready to apply, go to jerrytorres.pro/apply and submit your application. Keep in mind the first 5 people to apply or claim a consultation are going to receive up to $1,000 in credit repair services. And there you go. If you have questions, go to jerrytorres.pro/consult. We offer a no obligation 30-minute phone consultation to answer any specific questions that you may have. And here is another bonus for the people that take action during before the end of this webinar. We are gonna give you, if you decide to buy a house or refinance to us, a estate plan. What is a estate plan? It's having the proper entity to avoid something called probate. So what is probate? You go to a better life. You have a house and maybe you don't have enough money in the bank to pay your car payments and all of your credit cards. Guess what? Your property is going to go through the probate process if you don't have what is called a living trust. A living trust names who your successor trustee will be in the event that you go to a better life and avoids this costly process. This process could cost you up to, 5, 6% or 3 to 4, depending on the amount of your state. Okay. So why give money to the government when you don't have to by having a living trust? And it's not just only having a living trust, it's having a borrower will, uh, a healthcare directive. There's a lot of stuff that we don't know, but that we should have. So for the first people to take action, we are gonna refund, 2,500 bucks for you to have a proper estate plan. Protect your family, protect your legacy, protect your holdings. Okay. So now, again, go to jerrytorres.pro/apply or/consult, and I am looking forward to working with you. All right. So with that being said, I want to thank you so much for staying with me for in this 30 minutes or so. I don't know. Yeah, 30 minutes, 31 minutes. So thank you so much. And I hope that you have a great rest of the week. And as I always, I struggle finishing.